A while back I saw a video by Shami Semi titled Aku Build Mini PC Bawa RM1000, and it got me thinking, can I do it too? So I hopped on to Carousel to look for, used PC because, well, new you can't really get. And yeah, there's nothing much. Apart from few pre-builds, GTX 1050, 1060s and so on, nothing can actually game at 4K. And so I thought, hey, I'm smart. I guess I could figure out something, right? So I went on to lawyer.net, I looked at CompuZone, city computers, price list, and yeah, that's not happening either. New PC parts are pretty much a non-starter. So what are your options? Well, here it is. This is the BC250. What is a BC250, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's actually a PS5 parts bin, meaning whatever discarded chips that AMD made, Sony did not buy, but ASRock Rack decided to buy. So those discarded chips are then repurposed into mining rigs. The miners used it for a while, and I think in late 2024, when it became unprofitable, they decided, hey, look, we are just gonna, offload all these PCs, and offloading they did. You could get one around 600 ringgit today, and that's what I did. So what do you get for 560 ringgit? Well, for starters, you get a gigabit port, 2 USB 3 display port, 2 USB 2, and your reset as well as power button. You do get a decent Zen 2 6-core 12-thread processor, a GPU that has actually 40 compute units and not 24. You can power it with a PCIe 8-pin connector. You also have 16 gigs of GDDR6 RAM, which is shared between the CPU and GPU. It may be soldered, but it's not a bad thing if you look at the prices of RAM these days. So what do you need to provide? Well, since you already have a CPU, GPU, you need to provide an SSD. So here I'm using a Gen 3 Samsung PM951. You don't have to use the latest and greatest because the NVMe port on this board only supports NVMe Gen 2. So any Gen 3 drive you can get would be good. So mine here I bought used, also for RM 230 ringgit. So the total running cost so far is about what? So next up is the power supply. Just get any decent power supply. I got this Flex ATX power supply for 120 ringgit for fun, just to test it out. But your mileage may vary, so I would recommend getting something totally different. However, if you are in a tight budget, you could consider this. You also need a switch, or you could DIY your own switch to trigger the power supply to turn on. So yeah, that's about like $5-6. You also need to do some cooling mods. So you can put in a fan like this. First, you need to remove the fins, check online how to do that. And you can just strap on a fan so that you have some decent cooling performance. There are a lot of other mods you could do. This is what I choose to do. So yeah, you could try it out yourself. I had the fans on hand, but if let's say that you were to price the fans, maybe about $20-30 each. Yeah, so you can connect it up to your TV using a DisplayPort adapter of some sorts. I'm using this U-Green passive adapter you can get on Shopee, and a Bluetooth adapter here. You can see I can get it to, yeah, the ComFast Bluetooth adapter. You can use any adapter that Linux supports, and I think should be fine. But yeah, this is what I have, and if you want to follow, yeah, you can. So how does it game? Well, let's see. So you could choose Bazite or Cashier OS, depending on what you prefer. Installation and all, there's a lot of videos online that you can look. If you want me to make the video, I could do it as well, but I chose Bazite, though I may change to Cashier as I realized that Cashier is much more stable, and if you plan to unlock the full 40 compute units that this has, then that might be the way to go. So let's start off the first game with Tomb Raider. Yeah, as you can see, it's running at 4K, and yeah, I mean, I didn't make much changes to the settings. It's pretty much the default settings, and this is a 4K TV, but it's not a great 4K TV. So if you look at Tomb Raider here, this is actually Rise of the Tomb Raider. It's running pretty well. It's running at 60 frames. You may not see me like here, but yeah, it is running at 60 frames. And you know, this is a pretty intense battle, which you'll see later. It runs pretty steady. I've played up until here without any issues, so I'm more than confident to say that yeah, you don't have to worry. You could play at 4K with no issues. It's pretty good, right? But my gaming skills aside, there is something that I've been meaning to do for a while, and that is, of course, emulation. So as you can see, this is running Need for Speed Most Wanted at 4K as well, with no issues. I've beat Blacklist number 1, and yeah, it's running fine. Of course, yeah, it is just an emulation. You know, it's just an older game, but it can run 4K, and that's what we want. And this is Hogwarts Legacy. It's running also at 4K 60. I was quite surprised because this is a mixture of high and ultra. And to be honest, I was very impressed that, you know, playing Hogwarts. This is pretty much quite a new game. So yeah, you could easily run Hogwarts Legacy at 4K. And the last one is, of course, none other than Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is running actually at medium, so this is a benchmark, the in-game benchmark tool, and as you can see, it's still running at 4K 60. I think it is using FSR. However, I just left it. I left everything at the default settings. I didn't make any changes. So yeah, it's pretty good. Definitely playable at 4K. So in conclusion, with a total price of 905 ringgit for me, including a 35 ringgit thermal paste, I'm using the Arctic MX6, and of course including 2 fans in the price, the total spent is 905 ringgit. And for 905 ringgit, yes, I understand it's without a case, it's pretty jank, you need to use Linux and all that, but can any other option allow you to play games at 4K? I think not. So yeah, the BC250, get your hands on today, but only do it if you are an enthusiast or you are willing to spend the money, because trust me, it's not very straightforward. It's a bit scary, and if you are a total beginner, then going and building a regular PC is still the better way. But if you're a seasoned builder and you need something, exciting, something new, then hey, try it out. Maybe you might like it too. So like and subscribe.